Pursued them for about 30 miles. They were shooting at us the whole time, dodging, weaving, trying to not become a steel target. After about 28 miles, they were lucky and struck me in the head with a .223 round.
January 6, 2015 is a day that I'll never forget. I felt the most intense pain that I've ever felt in my life.
He walked in my office, he just tried to jam the lock, and he said, "I'm sorry, but I'm here to kill you today."
Shot me right in the face right here.
For 8 days, they kept me in a dungeon downstairs.
My heart stopped 8 times.
And he turns around and grabs my head and he slits my throat.
Hello, I'm Houston Gass, and welcome to the very first episode of Thin Blue Blood. This is an episode talking about the first responders and the sacrifices that they have made. And they want to talk to you and tell you about exactly what they've gone through. Today with me right now is my friend Charles Neal. He comes to us from Oologah, Oklahoma, from Oologah PD. Charles, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and about your background, man.
Okay. I'm a lieutenant at Oologah PD. Background is served in the Marine Corps and the Navy. After that, decided to get involved in law enforcement. I was an officer in Texas for a while and then moved back to Oklahoma, where I'm from, and became an officer up there.
What was one of the best days of your career?
I'd say it's an accumulation of days. Every day is a good day. Can't really think of one specific moment.
So, but let's talk about what your worst day was.
My worst day, May 28th, 2015. I was on patrol. Just filled up my vehicle when I received a call to back up an officer north of town on a traffic stop. Arrived at the traffic stop. We discussed how we would approach the vehicle. We decided to approach the vehicle on the driver's side, and we approached the vehicle and asked the driver for his driver's license and insurance. The driver handed over a Mexican driver's license. We asked him to roll down the back windows, and he only rolled it down a fraction. He wouldn't roll it down all the way. And then shortly after that, he decided to take off and start a pursuit.
What happened then?
We pursued him for about 30 miles. As soon as they took off, they started firing at us. Pursued him for about 30 miles. They were shooting at us the whole time, dodging, weaving, trying to not become a steel target. After about 28 miles, they were lucky and struck me in the head with a .223 round. After that, I blacked out. My vehicle left the roadway at about 110 miles an hour. The front of my patrol unit struck a tree stump, which caused the vehicle to roll end over end about 14 times.
Wow. Man, you're lucky to be alive. During that time, where was your wife at? Where was your family at? Who came and told your family about this?
Yeah, my wife and my 3 boys were at the house. She actually found out through an instant message. One of the first ambulance on scene was the paramedic was a good friend of mine, and he messaged my wife to tell her I was okay. And 20 or 30 minutes after that, the PD sent an officer over to pick me up, or to pick my wife up and take her to the hospital.
What did they tell her?
They didn't tell her anything until we got to the hospital. She just knew that an officer had been shot. She didn't know it was me until they came to pick her up.
So you get shot in the head, you flip your patrol car 14 times. She had to know some of that. She had to be probably freaking out, saying, "Oh my God, there is no way you're going to live. There is no way you're going to survive." What helped y'all get through that?
She definitely, at first, she went to that dark place that I didn't survive. how can somebody survive being shot in the head and being involved in a violent car accident afterwards. I think a lot of focusing back on God and on religion, and then just learning how you can do with less, that you don't always have to keep up the lifestyle you have, about making changes and adapting to your new situation.
Right. I know you went from making a very good paycheck for your family because you worked for two departments. You worked for Oologah Police Department, Rogers State University. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, whenever you started through your role of healing, you obviously started making substantially less than, you know, how do you figure you made it with that?
Well, just like many officers out there in the U.S., we work more than one job. Some of us 2 full-time jobs, and we still work side jobs on the side. So it was a significant decrease going from what I was making down to 70% of one income at the job that you're injured at. So had to adjust a little, sell off a couple of vehicles, and just spend money on what it really needed to be spent on.
So through this, though, how did your department treat you?
Well, at first the department treated me great. We have a great chief. He was there, supported me. The problem was, though, is the town didn't support me. After the first year, the town council decided to stop paying me. So at the first year, I stopped receiving the 30% that they were making up, so that I had a 100% paycheck.
And then how has the workers' comp system treated you?
Our Oklahoma workers' comp system is a very broken system. The insurance companies have control of it. There's not many state statutes that guide how they should respond, how they should treat people. So each insurance company gets to make up how they treat every patient, and no one's treated the same. And the state of Oklahoma, 6 months before my accident, they did away with the settlement system. So it's impossible to find a lawyer to work with you because there's no way for that lawyer to get paid when they do away with settlements. So it's very hard to find a lawyer in Oklahoma that will touch a workers' comp case.
So through your journey, I know you've had quite a few issues finding doctors and battling through workers' comp. What all did you have to do to get treatment to be able to keep on going to the next level? Because I know you've had significant medical issues.
Yes, our first case, we had to get the judge to order the insurance company to pay the life flight and hospital bills. The insurance company wasn't paying them, and they started being reported to my credit, damaging my credit. So we had to go in front of a judge and get the judge to order that they start paying bills timely so that it wouldn't have a negative effect on me. Several other treatments, we've had to go to court to get the state to order workers' comp to let me see different types of doctors. It took us a year to get into a neurosurgeon, neurologist, because the insurance company wouldn't approve it. And with head injury, neurologist is probably the first person you should see. Yeah. It shouldn't be something you see a year later.
Well, I would think that with traumatic brain injury as yourself, that should have been priority number one.
Yes, it really should have been. In Oklahoma, we don't have a really good brain institute that treats traumatic brain injuries. So they kind of threw together doctors, so we had to beg doctors to take the case, because most doctors won't accept workers' comp because it pays less than Medicare and Medicaid. So it's a battle just to find doctors that will accept you as a patient.
So where do you see yourself going from here?
Going from here, we're looking at possibly in the future starting a ranch for injured law enforcement and their children. We want to bring families out and help the children rebond with their parents. So now, like in my situation for 3 years, my 3 boys were pushed to the side. So I think it's important that we have a place for the injured LEO to come with their family and rebond with their children.
Man, do you have anything that you would like to say to any of the people out there that are watching, any of the law enforcement officers, any words of encouragement or anything?
Stay strong and keep fighting. There are parts of our system that need to change, and we need to contact our legislators and ask for change, or change will never be made.
All right. Pleasure to have you here today, man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for your sacrifice, my friend.
Thank you.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in today. If you could, just take a second, like, and share this so other people can hear this story. This needs to get out. We can't let any more of these injustices take place. These guys matter. Their lives matter. Their families matter. And if you think they matter, like and share.